Imagine for a second you're 74 years old. You have spent your entire life building your career. For 40, 50 years, you have established your credibility as a hard news journalist. You're respected, you're well liked, you have an established legacy. You've never been known for partisan politics, which has given you access to interview the biggest, most important people in government. Politicians from both sides of the aisle grant you access, knowing that the interview is going to be tough, but knowing that you're going to be fair. You're not agenda driven. You are driven by uncovering the truth for your audience. You have moderated presidential debates. You have achieved the greatest heights in the mainstream media. Aspiring journalists dream to be where you are. You have busted your ass your entire life, only to see your legacy tarnished because you allowed yourself to become infected with the woke fungus. I have told you guys before, the faith being taught at Woke United Methodist, it is designed to destroy everything it touches. If you're a religious person, you can make a strong case that the woke movement is satanic. Just think about it for a second. In the Bible, it says that Satan is the ultimate deceiver, the great destroyer. Satan uses people for his own agenda, then deposits them in the WNBA dump when he's done using them. Does that sound eerily similar to the woke movement? There is no transparency. Everything is smoke and mirrors. Everything is an illusion. They deceive people, mostly naive young kids and adults, into taking a bite of their shit sandwich. Just like Satan deceived Eve into taking a bite of the forbidden fruit, which religious scholars have now identified as Don's lemons. Once you have served your purpose, once you have contributed all you can to the narrative, deacons at Woke United Methodist, they deposit your remains in the dump. If you need proof of this, look no further than the mainstream media career of Chris Wallace. For nearly 50 years, he was one of, if not the most respected journalist in the mainstream media. Stints at NBC Nightly News, Meet the Press, ABC Primetime. For the last 18-20 years, he was the anchor for Fox News Sunday, the most watched Sunday morning news program. When you look back at the last 2 decades, most of your major political interviews conducted by Chris Wallace. 50 years of credibility wiped away in the span of 3 hours. 3 hours wiped away 50 years of credibility. Chris Wallace was the lone host of the 2020 presidential debate on Fox between Orange Man Bad and bumbling Biden. Now, normally after a presidential debate, media pundits, they discuss the winner and the loser. Or, if you decide to watch CNN, shitfucks like Brian Stelter discuss which candidates prefer eating donuts and which uses them for purposes of butt bongo. Tonight on CNN, the Donut Diva previews his upcoming OnlyFans content where he charges lonely men $5 to watch him transform a donut into a cock ring. The biggest loser coming out of the 2020 presidential debate wasn't Joe Biden. It wasn't Orange Man Bad. The biggest loser coming out of that debate was Chris Wallace. On that night 2 years ago, his career in the mainstream media died. This right here was the moment Chris Wallace buried his career in the woke cemetery. Watch for yourself.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared
willing to do
specifically
that, but
do it? Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
who would
right
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys.
There were so many more moments that I could show you that the 2020 debate was an absolute disgrace. Chris Wallace sat there with a straight face, asked the President of the United States to denounce white supremacy. Just think about this. On one side of the stage, you got bumbling Biden, who has a long history of making racially insensitive remarks. Then on the other side, You have a minority candidate. I mean, there are less orange people living in America than black people. But you have a president that had black unemployment at its lowest level in decades. And you're asking him to denounce white supremacy? Chris Wallace lost all credibility that night. Now, after this disaster unfolded, some people thought Fox News had a problem on their hands. They had a host under contract that the vast majority of their audience thought was a smug, condescending asshole. But it wasn't Fox News that had the problem. He didn't know it at the time, but Chris Wallace was the only person involved who had a major problem on his hands. Months later, he was fired by Fox News. Well, KC, that's just not true. Chris Wallace was interviewed by the New York Times. He told them he decided not to renew his contract with Fox because the network was no longer about reporting the truth. Yeah. You can bite into that shit sandwich if you want, but Fox News had zero reason to re-sign Chris Wallace. For one, he's old as fuck. Two, he was diagnosed with stage 4 OMB, Orange Man Bad. 3, he no longer had any credibility with their core audience because Chris Wallace became baptized and born again. He opened himself up to unlimited rounds of Fauci fucking. When the lizard was looking for lab rats to test his cure for the COVID, Chris Wallace, he was first in line to sign up. Oh, Anthony, you're the sexiest lizard I know. Please keep your glasses on while you pound my bongo. Sign me up for unlimited rounds. I have exercised for 70 years, keeping my bongo in tight shape, waiting for you to take your opportunity to enter my Garden of Eden. Chris Wallace fell into the same trap as Rachel Nichols. He fell into the same trap as Max Kellerman. We have seen this same story countless times. These high-profile dumbasses apologizing for their white privilege, begging to be accepted into a movement that doesn't want them. They think they can gain entry into woke United Methodists by doing good works, doing good deeds, renouncing their white privilege. They think being baptized and born again secures their status within the shitfuck community. They think praying to the woke oak tree will keep their name in the mainstream. Chris Wallace thought by embarrassing, demonizing Donald Trump, he would receive his lifetime pass to Shay Shay's House of Gay Gay. He thought he was going to leave Fox News for CNN and still maintain his audience. Now, sure. He knew he would be speaking to a new audience. Instead of 2 or 3 million common sense thinkers, Chris Wallace would now have an audience of loyal, woke brothers and sisters, right? I mean, it all sounded so perfect. CNN is launching a new streaming service. They are going to build the platform around me, superstar Chris Wallace. I'm going to be the face of CNN Plus. We are going to put Fox News out of business. CNN offered Chris Wallace $6 million a year to be the face of CNN Plus. He would anchor the platform. He would be the draw for other shitfucks like Rex Chapman and Jamel Hill. Executives at CNN, they knew those two didn't have enough drawing power for people to pay to hear their mouth farts. The other day, I found out Rex Chapman actually has a YouTube channel. He has a podcast about basketball. It's so popular, he gets hundreds of views per video. But that was okay for CNN because Chris Wallace would attract the audience. Then they would be exposed to the talented mouth farting of Rexy and Jameli. There was just one problem. Chris Wallace isn't a draw. CNN Plus folded after 3 weeks, but that's okay. Even the best laid woke plans run into problems sometimes, but have no fear. CNN had a better idea. People who watch Chris Wallace, they're generally older. They aren't used to streaming platforms. So let's give him a show on Sunday nights in prime time on CNN. We can make hundreds of thousands of dollars selling ad spots for Viagra just for men, along with localized spots designated for grocery stores so our viewers know where to buy their cucumbers. CNN and Chris Wallace called the show Who's Talking to Chris Wallace? Judging by the ratings, no one's talking to that dumb fuck. God only knows how much money CNN has spent promoting this show. This is a new and improved Chris Wallace to go along with a new and improved CNN. This is a rebranded Chris Wallace. This is a warmer Chris Wallace. We are going to see a different side to this superstar. No more politics. He's interviewing celebrities now. Woohoo! In a press release, Chris Wallace said, "For anybody who asks why I stopped doing political interviews, it's so I could interview anybody in the world." Thanks for that clarification, Chrissy. There's just one problem. No one asked. Someone please talk to Lonely Chris Wallace, debuted Sunday night on CNN. The highly promoted Dumpster Fire drew 401,000 viewers. Now, as a network, CNN has been struggling all year attracting an audience in the key 25 to 54 demo. For some reason, they thought Chris Wallace was the solution to this problem. Don't worry, CNN. I'm a super shit fuck. I know what will bring in the younger viewers. I have a hidden talent that no one knows about. This will be headline news Monday morning. NBC will be begging me to audition for America's Got Talent. ABC will pay me millions to try out for American Idol. Have no fear. Chrissy has this under control. What was his grand plan? Watch for yourself.
Oh, totally crazy. Forget I'm a lady. Your man shirt, short skirt.
Yeah, I like that part.
And man, I feel like a woman.
Bum, bum, ba-da.
Yes, you got the guitar part too.
Yep. His solution to attract a younger audience was Chris Wallace openly admitting that he feels like a woman. For 74 years, I have been trapped in the wrong body. I feel so liberated now that I have embraced my feminine side. How many younger viewers did he attract? 44,000. 44 fucking thousand. That is a decline of 64% on CNN, a network already tanking in the key demo. In his debut episode, Chris Wallace managed to decline on CNN's already declining ratings. What a fall from grace. Chris Wallace fucked himself. I don't feel bad for him. He had it made on Fox News. He was the moderate voice, wasn't too far right, wasn't too far left. But now he's stuck. He is persona non grata for the conservative audience, and he's not woke enough for purple-haired, prepubescent boys like Megan Rapinoe, meaning that Chris Wallace literally has a potential audience of 0. Like I said earlier, Chris Wallace is a prime example of what happens to your career when you open your bongo to community pounding. They'll use you for a little while, they will pretend to care about you, but when the surface of your bongo rips and it can be pounded no more, they make you irrelevant by sticking you on CNN on a show no one's going to watch. Well, let me know what you guys think. The fall from grace for Chris Wallace. Is his legacy forever tarnished? How long do you think this shit show on CNN is going to last? My prediction, it's canceled by this time next year, maybe even the spring. But let me know your prediction. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.